Let's talk about the investor's life cycle. What is the investor's life cycle and how does it apply to you? So we invest differently based on where we are in our lives. So if we had to take a look at that pattern, what does the investor's life cycle look like? Imagine a bell curve. So we start with our 20s through our 40s, where we are in something called the accumulation phase. This is when we just leave college, we first start investing, we become aware of stocks, 401ks, mutual funds. We understand the need to start building up a wealth and understand that when you're younger, you have one goal alone, acquire assets, as many assets as you can, right? Until you're in your 50s or 60s. Just start amassing as many assets as you can. What are assets? They are real estate property, businesses, stocks, paper investments, right? You want to amass as much of a investing empire, if you will, as possible. That's your one goal, is to acquire assets. That's your 20s to your 40s, right? You're starting work, you're learning how to make your way in the world. Maybe you find the significant other of your dreams. Maybe you have kids in that period. You're setting yourself up for success later on. Next, you have what's called the preservation phase. That's when you're in roughly your 40s through your 50s, right? You're in the maturation phase of your career, right? You're nearing the peak of your career, right? You've been working for some time, you're established, you've acquired the house, the 2 cars, the dog, the white picket fence, all that fun stuff. Maybe you're putting a kid through school. You're at a stage in your game when you're starting to actively accumulate those assets, you've accumulated the assets, and you are now trying to learn how to move things around so they become a growth strategy. You go from a growth strategy to an income strategy. And again, there are 2 different types of strategies in investing on a very high level. There's growth and there's income strategy. Growth investing, income strategies, right? So with that in mind, this is the growth stage. This is the midpoint where you have to make that transition. And then by 50, you really need to be in the income stage, right? So you go from accumulation phase to the preservation phase to what's called the distribution phase, right? And the distribution phase essentially is when you start drawing on the income. And if you're smart, and if you're watching the other videos, you've set yourself up in a way where you've reallocated your assets, where you're able to draw income on your portfolio or everything you've acquired in your life. You're now getting the money to work for you rather than you working for the money, right? So with that, that's the distribution phase. When you're actually drawing on the income, maybe you've stopped working, maybe you're working part-time, but now you're actually entering the retirement years. Finally, this is 50s plus. Then finally, once you pass, you have what's called the transfer phase. Some people, we don't really focus on that as much, but you do get that benefit in working with us, where, again, we're creating a legacy for your children, your heirs. So you have the opportunity to pass on either to your spouse or your children the results of your hard work over decades of what you've acquired. So understand, you invest differently in each one of these stages, investing in different assets for different reasons. There's an asset for every stage of the life, right? Wall Street and other industries have come up with different assets where they can accommodate whatever your needs are based on whatever your goals may be. So with that in mind, come talk to me. If you have confusion or questions about this, come talk to me. Let's discuss it. Drop me a line at the office. I'd love to help you. And I hope this has been beneficial to you guys. I wish you the best. Happy investing.